Welcome and thank you for joining us on Birth Mother Matters in Adoption with Kelly Rourke-Scary and me, Ron Rains, where we delve into the issues of adoption from every angle of the adoption triad.
Do what's best for your kid and for yourself, because if you can't take care of yourself, you're definitely not going to be able to take care of that kid, and that's not fair.
And I know that my daughter will be well taken care of with them.
Don't have an abortion. Give this child a chance.
All I could think about was needing to save my son.
My name is Kelly Rourke-Scary. I'm the Executive Director, President, and co-founder of Building Arizona Families Adoption Agency, the Donna K Foundation, and creator of the You Before Me campaign. I have a bachelor's degree in family studies and human development and a master's degree in education with an emphasis in school counseling. I was adopted at the age of 3 days, born to a teen birth mother, raised in a closed adoption, and reunited with my birth mother in 2007. I have worked in the adoption field for over 15 years.
And I'm Ron Rains. I've worked in radio since 1999. I was the co-host of 2 successful morning shows in Prescott, Arizona. Now I work for my wife, who's an adoption attorney, and I'm able to combine these 2 great passions and share them on this podcast. If you enjoy this podcast, make sure to rate and review us on whatever platform you use to listen to us, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Look for AZ Adopt Podcast.
Today we are going to have Building Arizona Families Receptionist join us. She came from an area of employment that was not in the adoption world. And so she is a fresh pair of eyes who was able to come into the adoption world and see what it was really like. And I thought it's been about 2 years. Is that right that you've been working with us?
Yes.
It'd be really neat to kind of reflect on the past 2 years about what you thought about adoption or believed in about adoption as to what you have seen over the past 2 years. And if any of your viewpoints have changed or if anything is looked at differently than it may have been before. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. So, yes, things are different because when I first thought of adoption, it was always what I seen like on the Lifetime shows. Was the young girl trying to go to school and something happened, so she wasn't able to go to school. So she would, place the baby up for adoption. But here it's like real life. Like people, women, they're struggling with, other stuff going on in their lives or stuff happens. So this is like the best choice for them. And then even with the adopted parents, I've seen that, like, these girls, like, this is the best choice they can make for themselves. And then they help the other family, too.
Have there been any situations that have caused, like, emotions in you that you were surprised to be feeling at that moment? Like, it really got to you? Is there a situation you can talk about without names?
Mm-hmm. Yes, but for the better. Nothing bad. Just the girl can make her life better. So by her doing this, it helped her because she grew up, you know what I mean? Because she had to grow up. But when she placed, it helped her because she got sober, started working, and then she had another baby, and she's taking care of that baby now.
Yeah, and that's amazing. That is an amazing situation that happened. So when you first came to us, and it was not really what you were expecting in terms of the clientele or the reasons or rationale behind their choices, was it eye-opening to you?
Yes, very. Because the girls come in and it's like, well, this was all new to me, so I didn't know what to expect. And then they come in, but the agency really helps them because they give them everything, like the housing, the support that they need. Like they can call anybody here and anybody will talk to them.
Right. And with you being in the front, I know that sometimes you get to overhear things that they're talking about, or they'll show you pictures of the babies. You also, they may treat you like a hairdresser in the sense that they want to, tell you things or confide in you. And how would you describe the women that we work with?
They'd have red flags. Maybe some of them, not all of them, they have red flags and they need help.
Is there...
And a lot of them want the help. They just don't know how to get it.
Yeah, that's true. Is there something, do you think, that differentiates the ladies that come in versus, and place their babies for adoption versus the women that choose not to place their baby for adoption and don't come into an adoption agency, and their babies wind up in foster care or a ward of the state. What do you think is the difference between the two types of mothers, really?
I don't think that they know that with adoption that they can continue to have a relationship with their child. So they try to do it on their own, and then, they get lost in the system, and then they lose that too.
Right.
And with adoption, they have the choice, They want to keep it open or closed adoption. Yeah,
I think that's a really good point. What did you know about open adoption, if anything, coming into the agency to work for us? Like, did you understand what it really was, or was it?
No, I didn't. I didn't know anything because I personally in my family, I just know like a cousin being adopted by my aunt, but never anything else. So I didn't know anything about adoption.
Okay. So with that, Ron, do you have a question before I keep going with my list?
Yes, actually, it makes me wonder what brought you to Building Arizona Families in the first place to get the job.
I wanted change, and because I worked with youth, and this was just different. And I started in the aftercare program, so I just wanted something different, and I'm glad I made the change.
You did. You started off in the Donna K Foundation, and then transitioned over to Building Arizona Families. But I know that even though it's the same company, and I know you have done both, and you're kind of continuing to do both.
Yes.
And with the aftercare program, when you saw a woman who came in and she was able to find herself and move forward in her life and, gain education or get a job or secure long-term housing, was that as rewarding to watch, do you think?
Yes. It was really nice to see the growth because, they start on this side where they place the baby for adoption. And then after the adoption with the aftercare, they were able to do what they wanted to do, like, continue school, look for a home, or just continue working on themselves.
So when you have a woman sitting in the front desk and she's coming in and it's her first day, she's beginning the adoption journey, and she's about to start the process, and then she gets nervous or decides that that adoption isn't the right choice for her and she leaves, is it hard for you to watch her walk out the door knowing the possibilities of CPS, DCS getting involved,
yes,
and what she's missing out on?
Yes, that happened actually earlier today, if I could talk about that.
Yeah.
She came in with a friend, and then when they were, explaining the process to her, she didn't want to continue, and her friend was saying, like, this is actually the best thing for her. She's homeless, and, she's going to go out there and struggle by herself when she could be here getting help.
What was the reason that she chose to leave and not proceed with her adoption plan?
She didn't want to give out birth father information.
Right. And that is something that we have seen multiple times before.
Yes.
Unfortunately, what a lot of women who come into adoption and don't understand is that birth father information will have to be given to DCS if they wind up taking custody of the baby, and they will do their own investigation, and it won't be very different from what we would have done to begin with.
Right. And they'll still find him.
Right. So it's not, it's just delaying the inevitable in a lot of cases.
Yes.
What do you think that somebody who doesn't have any real firsthand knowledge of adoption or understand the process, the way that it works, what is something that you would tell them that, hey, like, I didn't realize this happened this way, or this is really part of the process? Is there one thing that like just really, really surprised you?
The bonding with the AP families, and then like we have one girl, well, we have several girls where their APs are real good, even after like the babies are older now. They're still in communication, and like they send gifts for birthdays and all that for their other kids, and they get pictures, they get updates. Like they still see the baby that they placed, but they just don't have the baby. You know what I'm saying? And
yes,
it's really nice because they're still bonding with their little baby.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When parenting isn't an option, or it's not the right choice for a pregnant woman, this is a very, very good option or choice for them to make. When you are in the office and you're watching the women come in and go out and come in, is there ever a part of you? I know that when I'm working with the women, sometimes they'll come in and it's like, for me, it's like a mothering instinct. You just want to take care of them and make sure they're okay. And
Yes.
and that is something that, goes through my head a lot. I was just wondering if it went through yours as well.
Yes, and I think that's why when they sit up there, they just talk because they just want somebody to listen to. So I don't mind listening.
Yeah.
I have a question for both of you. Is it kind of a danger to get a little too close to these birth mothers?
Me personally, I don't think so, but I mean.
Yeah, I agree with Maura. I don't think there is a danger. I think that when you are working with a population or clientele that really needs an actual real connection, I think being mindful of that and not letting yourself, not make that connection. I think you're doing a disservice to her and to yourself, because when somebody does need that connection with you as a social service worker or in the environment, that's your responsibility, is to meet them where they are and be as present and as interactive as you can.
Yes.
Now, do you continue the relationships even after the adoption is complete a lot of times?
No, not in the same aspect or framework. So we have the aftercare program. So we can see them, in that environment as they're working to, follow their dreams, improve themselves, secure long-term housing. The relationship evolves. I wouldn't say that it's not the same, but it evolves and it changes to where she is, because we want her to continue to grow. And without, if you keep everything the same, then there's going to be no progress. But if you help her to launch and move forward in her life and be her, an anchor that she can come back and talk to, or come by and say hello, that is going to help her the most. Again, still being there, but maybe in a little bit of a different capacity.
Yeah, sometimes they even pay it forward with us. Like they'll come back and do a donation to the clothing closet, which is, always appreciated by them.
Yes, they do. I know when that happens, that just warms my whole heart and soul. Like I love to see them paying it forward and understanding the value of helping. When we have had women come back and help in the office or at the Donna K Foundation, I think that is not only positive for us as the recipient, but I also think that it's very positive for them being able to feel like they are then doing their part and helping pave the way for the next woman behind them. Is there any advice that you would give to somebody who was considering placing their baby for adoption, or if you had a friend that had a daughter that was pregnant and looking into adoption, like what are some things that you would tell them?
I would tell them to do it because, it's not an abortion and the baby's living, and you have the choice to decide whether you want to be a part of the, with the open or closed adoption. But I would tell them to do it, and then they get so much help, like the housing, the medical, extra stuff. They get, food bags. They get support.
Right. And I think that, as a member of the, the domestic adoption team, I think that you're able to see clearly where everybody's heart really is and what our united goal is. And I think that it's something that you can definitely at the end of the day feel really good about being a participant of. I hope.
Yes, that baby. And then also the adopted families, they get not what they want, but what they need, what they're missing. The family, they want a baby. And they're getting that too. So that's nice.
Right. It's a win-win. The baby gets a beautiful adoptive family. The adoptive family gets a beautiful baby. And the birth mother gets to place this child of hers in a beautiful family that she chooses. And she then gets the assistance to help rebuild her own life and find her own dreams and still be a part of the baby's life. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you.
We really want to thank Maura for taking the time to join us and share with us. It's nice to see adoption from a fresh set of eyes. It's been 21 years since I was introduced to the world of adoption when I started dating my wife, and the one thing I remember from way back then is that there is no such thing as an uninterrupted date in this world. So Maura's perspective is a good reminder as to why we do this and the powerful and wonderful journey that adoption is. If you're pregnant and considering adoption, we are here for you and understand what you're going through. We've helped hundreds of women place their babies for adoption, and we want to help you as well. We have a pregnancy crisis hotline available 24/7 by phone or text at 623-695-4112, or you can reach us on our toll-free number at 1-800-340-9665. We can make an immediate appointment with you to get you to a safe place, provide food and clothing, and help you get started on creating an Arizona adoption plan, or just give you more information. Check out our blogs on our website at azpregnancyhelp.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter by looking for AZ Adopt Podcast. If you enjoy this podcast, make sure to rate and review us on whatever platform you use to listen to us. Birth, Mother Matters, and Adoption was written and produced by Kelly Rourke-Scary and edited by me. Thanks go out to Grapes for letting us use their song I Don't Know as our theme song. Join us next time on Birth, Mother Matters, and Adoption. For Kelly Rourke-Scary, I'm Ron Rains, and we'll see you then.